Hi, I'm here today to talk about healthy habits. And when you think about healthy habits, I'd love for you to just take a second and think about some of your habits that are potentially healthy. Now, think about some habits that you have that aren't so healthy. There's a lot that we can do to reinforce the healthy ones and change the bad habits. Like I said on my talk the other day, we have amazing brains that have neuroplasticity that we can actually train it. We can train our brain to do what we want. And habits are one of the easiest ways to train our brain because a habit is actually an acquired mode of behavior that's become voluntary. So you'll notice that, a lot of us in the morning, we wake up, we brush our teeth, right? Like it's just what we do. It's done to automaticity. And there are tons of habits that we have throughout the day that we might not even realize. So one of the first most important things is to kind of be aware of what are your daily habits. What do you do when you wake up? When you wake up, are you immediately grabbing your phone and starting to scroll through social media? How is that serving you? Is it helpful? Do you find it to be a healthy behavior? Things like that are really things that sometimes we don't even think about. When we're talking about healthy habits, we're thinking about, I need to eat right and I need to drink my water and I need to move, right? And these are all really important things. From a nutrition standpoint, eating 6 meals a day, fueling your body throughout the day every 2 to 3 hours is really important. It keeps your body satiated and not full so that you have steady nutrition throughout the day to make your body run, right? To eat to live, not live to eat. Also, drinking 64 ounces at least of water a day is a great healthy habit. They say really half your body weight in ounces is best, but if you're getting 64 ounces in, that is a great start. You'll see a difference in how you feel, how your skin looks. Yes, you'll have to go to the bathroom a little bit more to start while your body gets used to that, but you'll be shocked to see what a difference it makes to get in that water. A lot of people struggle with that. Also, when you're eating your meals, trying to make sure that you have a good balance of protein and fat and carbs, which are, your macros that you hear people talk about. It's important to have a balance of those things because your body needs all of those to run. But there's healthy fats and then there's, some bad ones, right? Also, a really great habit is moving daily. Doesn't have to be a boot camp. I particularly love boot camp, right? But you could just go for a walk, or you could do a sit-up or a few sit-ups, right? Like, and how you build a habit is you start small and you grow that. The other really great healthy habit is doing something for your mindset. And it's really great to do that at the start of your day or at the end of your day or even like in the middle of your day too. But what I have found is in my research, I've done a lot of research on habits. I have these 2 books that I love that are amazing. One is called Atomic Habits by James Clear. A lot of what I'm going to talk about today comes from his book. It's very easily digestible. He takes a lot of really great research and makes it easy to understand. And then also this book, High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. Both of these books have actually changed my life. I've been able to take nuggets from them and try my best to improve my habits. So I wanted to share a little bit about it with you. James Clear talks about the power of 1, right, in his book. And if you get 1% better every single day, by the end of the year, you're 37% better mathematically. And if you get 1% worse every day, you decline down to like just about 0. So for some reason in our mind, we feel like we have to have this big, momentous, huge thing, right? And in order to have power, but there's actually a huge amount of power and value in making small improvements, that 1% improvement over your daily life every single day, just trying to get 1% better. 1% is not intimidating, right? It's like the idea of, like I said, sit-ups. So when you are thinking, okay, I want this healthy habit, what you're really trying to think about is visualize, who do I want to be, right? Like, why do I say I want to, like if I say something like, I want to be healthy, well, that's really general, right? We need to break it down into something that is more attainable and figure out what are the steps I need in order to be healthy, right? So if you're saying like, okay, I want to run a marathon, right? You can't just go out and run a marathon, right? You have to train for that. You have to incrementally get better, right? And you might be starting with like a Couch to 5K program, or you might already be advanced and you meet yourself where you are. But it's really important to think about, where am I and what do I want to be? Why do I want to run a half marathon? Is it just because I want to be able to say I did it? Is it because I want to fix and help my cardiovascular health? Really think about and identify, why do I want this outcome? To grow a habit, you need to decide, what kind of person do I want to be? And then your little small atomic habits make you that person. So you do little things each day to get to that goal. It's not about having this big thing in the end. It's about how do I identify as that person who wants to have that habit or be healthy, right? So in order to kind of grow a healthy habit, and then also at the same time, you can break bad habits kind of within the same idea of this habit loop. So in a habit loop, there's a cue, a craving, a response, and a reward. So the cue is the trigger of like, hey, I want this reward, right? So if you're saying to yourself, like, I want to lose weight. Well, your cue is, okay, why do you want to lose weight, right? Do you want to feel better in your own skin? Do you want to have more energy? Do you want your clothes to fit better? What is that reward that you're actually looking for? Then the craving is, what you crave is not the habit, but it is the change that it delivers, right? So it's like, oh, wow, I actually want to feel good in my own skin. I want my clothes to fit. Like, that's the craving. So the cue is, okay, what's the trigger? I want to hit this. And then the craving is like, why do I want to hit it? What's really the underlying thing behind that? The response is the actual habit that you perform. Well, in order to do that, in order to lose the weight or get to your goal, you have to make some choices. You have to build some habits of eating healthier, moving, getting in your water. And then that reward is that response delivered. So in order to design a good habit, you have to focus on and be aware and mindful of your cue, craving, response, and reward. And for your cue, you want to make sure it's obvious to you. Like, what is the cue or the trigger? And then for your craving, you want to make it attractive, right? So you want to make it attractive for you to be able to have some of those habits. Your response, you want to make it easy. And for your reward, you want to make it satisfying. Like, hey, it feels awesome to fit in these clothes, right? Or if you want something that's non-weight related, I want to be able to be more productive during the day. Well, what are the steps you need to do? When we set goals, they're great, right? But a goal is nothing without a plan, right? You need to focus on the system to get to that goal, or the broken down pieces. And those are your little tiny habits that you have. And what you can do to do that is, James Clear talks about habit stacking, which is amazing. So a habit, like we talked about, is something you do to automaticity, right? You pretty much, everybody wakes up and at some point before they go downstairs or whatever, they're going to brush their teeth. So why not add something to that in order to intentionally build a habit on top of one that you already have to automaticity? So I took that advice and I started to do, finally at 43 or 44 years old, I decided, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take better care of my skin. And I had a real struggle with, it takes probably 1 to 2 minutes for me, but I was like, I don't feel like it. So when I brush my teeth in the morning and at night, I also do my skincare routine, right? So I've been doing it for about a year. That's why I said 43, 44. So, once you do something, in general, they say a habit forms in 21 days. Once you do something that many times, you make it a habit. So now whenever I brush my teeth, I immediately wash my face, I put my lotion on, I do that. So habit stacking is really, really powerful. You take a habit that you know, and then you stack one that you want on top of it. Another thing that is important that you can do is you can track your habits visually. It's a really great way for you to see. So try not to focus on too many things at one time. Pick a habit or, like 3 to 5 habits that you want to improve upon. And you can just create your own little chart to say, like, here's this habit and check each day that you do it. And it's kind of satisfying to be able to check it off and say, I've done that habit. It's just a really awesome way to grow your mindset, to grow your health, to grow your, ability to get things accomplished. One other thing that I would leave you with, and this is a lot that comes from this High Performance Habits book, is Brendan Burchard talks a lot about setting yourself up for success. In the morning, you have the chance. Like every morning we wake up and we have this amazing opportunity to just start fresh, right? But a lot of us tend to wake up and we grab our phone and we start to scroll and we start to like just get sidetracked, or we go to our email and we're like, and that kind of like dictates your day. You start immediately like comparing, or you get caught up in the scrolling and the novelty of looking at things. But what if you took like the first 10 or 15 minutes? He says 60 minutes, which can be a challenge, but if you took the first 10 or 15 minutes to just reflect on your day and say, what do I want to be today? Who do I want to be? Who do I want to show up for? What are the 3 tasks I have to get done? And how am I going to make sure I get those done? Am I going to block some time off in my calendar, or am I just going to write them down? Also, like thinking about some things you're grateful for. So I started, he has a daily journal, and I use it most days. I'm still working on my habits, but I use it most days. And it really just, it has like a morning thing where you say like, who am I going to focus on today? Who do I need to be present for? What are some things I want to make sure I'm doing today? And then at the end of the day, you kind of, it only takes like 5 minutes. Then you reflect on, how did I do? You know, what's still left over? What do I want to work on? What did I do really well? And it's really satisfying to be able to see your growth, and tracking those habits also is satisfying. So the best advice I would give to you is just start. Start small. Think about that 1% better on something, and you're 37% better by the end of the year. That's awesome. So if you want to just focus on one habit at a time, or you want to focus on just a couple habits, try not to do too many, because it can get overwhelming. And we, you know, if we get overwhelmed, we say, oh, this was too hard and I'm not going to do it. So set yourself up for success. Make sure your environment around you is successful. So for me, one of my habits that I'm going to work on is doing that journal every morning, because I have found that during the phases of my life when I'm doing that, I'm the most successful. I am present. I am aware of my bad habits. I have a horrible habit of being on social media and scrolling. And it's something that, you know, in his book, he also talks about how to remove a bad habit. Make it yucky, make it ugly, make it invisible. Like sometimes I literally take my phone and put it in the other room so that I can stay focused. There's so much that I could talk about with this, but I only have so much time. So I'd love, if you have any questions, I'd love to, talk to you more, but just start small. Think about what you really want to focus on. And before you know it, your habits, your bad habits can be squashed, and your good habits can be increased.